Yes. Returning to an old favorite. I I spent about a half an hour being very indecisive as to what to do today for the video, and so I just defaulted to something that I knew and liked. Mm. This time, oh look, a gas mask. That's especially nice. I'm going to take that for potentially later. But this is a very average start with a pretty average character, Marvin. Always remember to search the starting area first before progressing. You don't want to miss anything. And as you can see, night vision is still a standard trait that I always pick. Taking a look outside, using the map as well. Now this area could be a gold mine if I don't die from it. Which I can already tell you which one is more likely. Hmm. It's been so long I'm trying to remember exactly what I usually do. So, this thing, this is what I prefer over the sling itself, especially since it trains archery, which is the lead-in to other things, or rather, the sling and slingshot are the lead-in to archery for me, usually. Mm. Oh, I know, hold on. Yes, this will be quite advantageous. There, that's a lot of resources to work with. Mm. Aligning it all into work area. And now, let's see what we can make. I usually make the makeshift crowbar first for melee. Uh, for my purposes, it's a good enough melee weapon, and it doesn't even take that long to make. And it has the added benefit of having hammering and prying. Not very much hammering, though. For good hammering, you're going to need an actual hammer, which I think is actually available right now. Or not. Mm. Oh, I know it's missing. A small string. Actually, I remember something. The sheets, we can disintegrate the sheets for string. And just collecting more resources preemptively. There's a lot of resources now. Actually taking a look. Let's look at all of that. It's a lot to begin with. Actually, what do we have on hand? A frozen water. Now that's useful. In this case, I feel going to want to yet again train fabrication, and then once that's at level 1, we can make the sling, which will be the lead into the slingshot, which will be the lead into the bows. And I usually don't make a bow until I can make a long bow at least. The options are fishhook, spike, improvised lockpick, and nailboard trap. Nailboard trap only trains trapping, however, but they are very useful, especially for early game trapping. I can only make 2 of them though. Running out of nails. It's not a very good supply of nails right now, but that will change hopefully. These fishing hooks are very inexpensive, as is the improvised lockpick. But which one is actually better for training? Let's actually do the numbers. So we have exactly 58 nails here, doing rapid math, and 12 scrap metal. So we have more nails than scrap metal, which means that the fishing hooks are actually more ideal for our purposes. However, there's one catch, and that is with improvised lockpicks, you can train mechanic skill on locked objects, and so I'll actually be making probably 10 of those first, and after that we're going to be doing the fishing hooks until we level from those one at a time to make sure we don't overshoot. Oh, look at that. One was enough, and so doing any more than one would have been overshooting. So I can just get rid of this since I feel it's practically useless right now for our purposes. And what else? Oh yes, next. Needing to get back on track, the line of the plan. I do the sling first, and try again. Yes, very good we didn't waste any materials doing that. That would have been catastrophic, actually. And while we are still wielding this 2x4, we're going to try to find a boulder to smash with this stick that we have. While we collect rocks, that is. The 2 traits that I'm really glad I picked are quick and parkour expert, because this, traveling through the wilderness and high grass, would have otherwise been a nightmare. Actually, hold on a second. That would be food if we had a ranged weapon. And enough skill to use it, that is. Never underestimate the power of skill. Wow, there is really a deficit of boulders in this area. See, I just found one that I can use. The other one, this one down here, that's unusable since we can't destroy it yet. I think we need something like explosives. This area appears to be yielding exactly what we needed. Notice how that's only giving single rocks right now. That's very disappointing. Now let's see. Pebbles, 1 minute each, 12 in total. Wait, that time math does not add up. Well, never mind that then. I'm just not going to worry about it. Very mysterious, even suspicious somewhat. And now we have our ammunition. Well, we cannot carry very much. Oh, yeah, that's. Now I remember, I forget to make the sling pack. Remember that thing that allows you to hold a larger volume. Wire. I don't know what kind of use that would have right now. And I'm just foraging quickly to see if I can build up more survival skill quickly, because that's useful for some things. Actually, taking a look, survival skill has already almost leveled. Going to continue then until it does, and stop there. One level should be enough for entry-level activities. Ah, a plastic bottle. Those are very useful. Actually, what's the volume of this? 2 cups? I think I remember our bottles, yes, also being 2 cups, correct? Hmm. Although I don't entirely remember. Eh, this gas mask is not as valuable as this bottle, so I'm getting rid of it. There's no excuse. And yes, 1 level higher than before, and I'm pretty sure that that's enough level to make this thing here, as you can see. However, we are not going to be making this one, or at least I'm pretty sure not. It has much less range than even the sling. Technically, the slingshot has identical range. I didn't notice that before, but the dispersion's higher than the slingshot, which is worse. The reload time is better, thankfully. The damage is higher. Oh, that is quite tempting. And the fire rate? Eh, looks identical, actually. So the self bow is only slightly better than the slingshot, technically. Hmm. And we can make small game arrow, which is not great, to say the least. Which, especially because it's so expensive, look at all these components you need. You need 1 binder here. You need 1 sharp edge here, and you need a shaft here, and here you need fletching. All 4 of these components, no less, which is pretty harsh. A sling or slingshot is enough to start with. It can provide you exactly what you need in order to clear out areas without getting hit. And technically so do traps, which is actually, considering that we might want to make some traps, but not before taking a look at the sling. This thing, it only requires a single sheet, so that's very cheap, especially if you're in the vicinity of blinds or beds or anything like that. You can even, I'm pretty sure, tear up clothing to get sheets. One thing that I don't like about the sling, the makeshift sling, for carrying, is that it disrupts your ability to use the sling, but not the slingshot. And so the slingshot will be our next priority for obtaining. Looking in the vicinity right now, we're going to want to take these nails because they're light and small, as well as uh, some scrap metal because that's the same kind of thing. We don't want the splinter wood or 2x4s because they're large and heavy, and we don't care for that. And next we're going to want to take these pipes here, wield those for our melee, just 1 actually, and start tearing this place down. Once we get enough boards and nails, we can start making nailboard traps, and then after that we'll have enough of those to start laying down traps for the zombies to walk into while we're also destroying them with the sling. And all of that while we're looking for components for the slingshot. Of course, in fridges, we can find the tubes that we need. And collecting all of these resources into a single pile for efficiency. There. And getting hungry and thirsty at the same time can solve one of those. That's actually semi-alarming. Hold on. If it takes too long to make these traps, then I will not do that. How many can we make? 5. That's only a quarter of an hour. Actually, closer to a third of an hour. That should be fine. There. Actually, we can make some more here as well. Or can we? No, because we consumed all the nails. So now we have 5 nailboard traps capable of disrupting zombies while we have our sling, which is the ranged weapon, which will be our primary weapon for right now. And now we can go up here to this location where there are houses and search in them for food because we're hungry, and we can't last very long like that. And it's all the first day still as well, which is fortunate. We don't want to waste too much time. Actually, there's some basic crops here, and a jug. We want that jug eventually. Oh, the zombie dogs are so irritating. Now, let me see if I can remember how to deploy these traps. Ah, here we have it. There, that will help. Yes, look at this. You fell straight for my trap. It somewhat irritates me that it's on the trap now, but that should be fine. Hmm. I intentionally turned off filthy clothing because it's such a hassle. I'm going to see if any of these things are suitable. Actually, what are we currently wearing? Hmm. It looks like the rest of that would be useless. And since we also found that pocket watch, we can tell time exactly to within the second. Oh, look at that. That's a game ender right there. Uh, Best thing we can do now is either flee or draw it out into an area where we won't ever go back to again, because that will kill you if you get within a certain range of it, even if you're very powerful. First it shocks you, which stuns you, and then it just keeps hitting you until you turn into a paste, which is not ideal. Yeah, if you haven't noticed. Oh, look at this. There's an acidic anthill nearby. That's fun. On the map, it's there. Yes. These might be useful for something later, so I remember where that is. Hmm. Yeah. I don't like where those things are. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to dive into here, capture as much good food as I can, and exfiltrate. Hmm. Yes, this is not ideal. And that also consumed, I think that's a third of our ammunition, or a sixth. Yes, that's almost exactly a third, actually. No, wait, a twelfth. uh, Not easy to do math when you're being chased by all of this. By all of this. There. I should at least be able to destroy the first ones and then leave. Ah, 20 shotgun shells, that's strange. And nothing else, that's even stranger. Oh, look at this. An immediate advantage. uh, and just cleaning up now. Hmm. I may want to also replenish pebbles. And by may, I mean definitely. And now we can eat in peace, finally. Eating pure garlic. Raw garlic. Not very filling, but it's something to start with. There, I'm leaving the garlic. A pile of straw. Edible to a horse, perhaps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this jug of fertilizer and hold on, here it is. Actually, I'm going to pour it into this bucket so I can come back for it later instead of on the ground. And now it should be an empty jug. Yes. Yeah, these tanks appear to be empty. Very interesting. What is this? Oh, of course. This area will need some clearing. But it shouldn't be too difficult with our current tools, at least to start with. We should prioritize getting the slingshot, so looking for a house with a fridge in it. You see, because of the quick trait, at walking speed I'm faster than them, and so I will inevitably escape every time. The perfect plan. It's a catch-all. It's these ones with a lot of items carrying that are the really good ones that you want. And always double check that you pulverized them. We don't want any interlopers, especially not unexpected. That would be horrible. More ammunition that I don't need. And actually, pebbles are running low. That's a type of ammunition I do need more of. And so I will now scavenge these rocks from the local area and build up a new stock so I can go back in. Oh, I didn't see that. Now mildly damaged. Unfortunate, but not irrecoverable. And so now with these acidic zombies, so that their blood doesn't kill you while you're smashing them, you'll need to dissect them. A simple, quick butchery would be plenty in this case. However, if you wanted to do more, there's no rules against that. More dogs. Irritating. Little more than a nuisance. Wow, I just forgot the button for smashing. How strange. That's fine. I rebooted my brain and now I'm back to normal. Yes. Already, it's an onslaught. And I'm also running out of ammunition, unfortunately. It's going to need to be rectified somehow. And it's going to need to be done soon. These improvised lockpicks. I remember hearing something about rebinding the key it is associated to somehow. Uh, Is now the best time to figure out how to do that, though? I'm not sure. Must be in here somewhere. I think I remember how. Hold on a second. Reassign. Perfect. And now that's the key that's always associated to that item. And now I can just press A twice, and then the direction, and that will be much faster than selecting manually. Oh, and if I ever need to use that key for something else, I can just quickly rebind it temporarily, and then that solves the problem uh, in a not entirely complete way, but complete enough for most cases. Oh, makes me look quite ignorant, quite foolish to do such a thing. Oh yes, this is actually a good situation for me to be in. I just hope that that smashed window doesn't attract anything else. That's the only flaw in this plan. Oh, that canning pot is tempting. Canning pots are perfect for water processing early game, and also mid-game in most cases. Hmm. Now for this refrigerator, I'm going to want to use my very powerful weapon, the pipe, to destroy it, and then salvage its very valuable components in order to make my new slingshot, which only requires one rubber hose and one heavy stick, and is better than the sling for my purposes. However, stealth bow is also now an option, uh, but I can't feed that until I get something like thread, and even if I do, it's impractical because there's so many other things I also need, and so the slingshot becomes the obvious option. And now I usually, at this point, just throw away the sling. I don't care where it is now. It doesn't matter to me. I would actually like to rebind the buttons for uh, this and also the pipe now, so that I can switch to them quickly. Hmm. There. Those are really easy keys to remember. And now I can... There. Oh, and I also hear something approaching. I have enough pebbles to deal with some things, but not many things. And at this rate, we're going to want to find somewhere to deploy a temporary base of operations, especially since we're running out of inventory space. I actually feel like the basement of this building is tempting, but at the same time, basements are hard to get into for me, and so is very inconvenient. This alleyway feels like I could eventually block off one end of it and turn the other one into a door of some kind. Now this be some kind of garage for a vehicle I make later. That's an idea. Additionally, this building feels like a good one to start with. Oh yes, it's you. I remember you. Checking the local area for anything dangerous. This is the only seriously dangerous thing I see. The shocker brute is still to the southeast, so we don't want to deal with that anytime soon. I just don't travel in that direction, and you should be fine. What are you doing, you idiot? Get out of there. And now with this windowsill, I can board that up, and then gradually start reinforcing this building, and this can become the temporary base. Not bad. And the refrigerator and stove will supply us with the metal panels we need to make braziers, which in turn, hold on a second, there, which will be the way we contain our fires. And we also have this lighter now, which will be another component of that. Uh, Boarding up this window is going to need to be a high priority for the moment. And so, remembering the key for building, it's this one. Now I just need to find it somewhere in these lists. This one, we need only a few 2x4s now. Simple. Oh, we also need a hammer, of course. Hmm. What was the way you search again? F. And for these we need string, of course. And now we should be able to make that just fine. Here. And now that we have this, we can start to unravel the problem. There. Problem resolved. Also making our brazier. Oh, hold on. There. Just dragging this into a good room for it. I feel this bedroom would be fine. This will be our main room. The living quarters. And what else do we need to do here? Might as well start dropping off everything that we've collected into this room here, since we've designated it as our central room. There, now it's deployed, so it will work. And all these items in this room. Going to be dragging these manually. To this spot. It should be memorable enough. And dumping all this garbage. Keeping this weapon here because it's very useful. And only keeping a few other things as well. The hammer, the knife, the matches, and the lighter. The money for if we find a vending machine. The game watch. And the pipe, for obvious reasons. And now we should be very underloaded. Very fortunate. And now we can start building up the facilities and collecting resources from the nearby buildings and other places in order to become more advanced. Wearing the game watch now. What would be a good use of the remaining time? Is it nighttime yet? No. I guess that doesn't happen until 20, I remember. In that case, probably explore the basement. There might be something down here. Potentially something horrifying. Oh yeah, I never should have went down there. I'm going to close this door now. I know what that smoke means, and those noises. So I'm not going to go down there anytime soon now. I'm just going to keep that that room boarded up. Only without using any actual boards, because I feel like that would be a waste. A lot of activity nearby. And, oh yeah, we dropped our ammunition, didn't we? First, I'm going to gather more ammunition, then I'm going to go out and scavenge. It seems like the slingshot actually spends more ammunition in order to perform the same task. Oh, root beer, that's useful. What else is in here? Oh, you are. Oh, what do we have here? Kitchen supplies. And an entire box of raw macaroni. Yeah, this location is proving to be quite profitable. No basement. And more zombies, of course, in the local area. Hmm, I think we should be done with being outside for right now. There. Hmm, centralizing the pile. Do we have any boards? Where are the boards kept again? Uh, may not have any boards. Hmm, well, if nothing else, I can deconstruct this furniture. Screwdriving, of course. Oh yeah, I can make one, although I need a light in order to do that. This is all very much a hassle right now. And so I'm just going to end the episode while I'm still not completely unraveled from all of this. There, this is a good point for the next episode to begin.